We talked about this last week. Which companies appear in the Married Put search with our default criteria? It's the ones that you see. If you have the home pod selected to see the stronger sectors, stronger industries, Barrick Mining. I'm going to mispronounce that, so we'll just call it OR, Gold Royalties, Eldorado Gold, Alamos Gold, Western Digital, Cameco, Palantir, volatile, but still in the news. And Robinhood, been on a strong tear recently. Of course, had a pullback today, had a pullback yesterday as well, but still reasonable position. So in a weak market, we know, and I know some of you use money flow. It's not a filter that we have right now. We're looking into adding it. But you see where NVIDIA, of course, stalwart. It's going to be in there. But we're seeing positions where the money flow is going into the last few days, last week. We've been going into the mining. You've seen some rare earth elements also appear here during this week. They've sort of fallen out of favor a little bit, but they were there. And the gold, silver, metals, mining, health industries in there as well. So there's some good selections here. I'm not going to go into another gold position because I already have one, obviously. Some of the tech is looking good. I was hoping to see a financial in here after today's discussion. SoFi, it is financial, but I don't really consider it financial. I was looking for a bigger bank, potentially. But Guardant Health is an interesting one. That's come up, but it did take a big hit today. Hey, it might be a buying opportunity. So that's what I'm going to look for, because on Monday, we're going to be closed out of the LTH positions, as I mentioned, and we're going to be looking to do a new income method on Alamos Gold. We're going to be looking to adjust Planet Fitness and CZR, as I mentioned. Craft, not quite there where I want to manage it yet, but there's opportunity for income methods. There's opportunities for adjusting the second working asset in my favor. That's the Married Put position. I'm sorry, the put as well. So I can manipulate that. As I mentioned, similar to what we're going to do with Caesars, we're essentially going to average down. But instead of buying new shares of stock at $21.45 and adding to the risk, we're going to get paid to average down. I'm going to roll down the put, which has a high profit, into a lower strike level, potentially further out in time, depending on what the new risk is as well. So why in a bullish position was I happy to see a pullback today is because I had the sold call, and that's going to expire worthless. We're going to record that for the Fusion subscribers at RadioActive Trading. Ernie's still got about 7 positions open right now. I think 5 or 6 of which, if I'm not mistaken, are bulletproof trades. All right, so I just wanted to review some of that. That's more for our Fusion subscribers, but also the concepts of what's available. And of course, even if, let's go back here, I'm sorry, to AGI or Planet Fitness. I mentioned I was going to look to adjust Planet Fitness and look to adjust Caesars Entertainment. And commonly what I'm going to do whenever I adjust one of these Married Puts or my bull put credit spreads, we talked the last 2 weeks about bear put debit spreads on September 22nd and on October 6th as well. So what we're going to do here are the days after our Friday presentation. We recorded those, but I'm going to go to position actions and then position analysis. Whether you're doing covered calls, whether you just have a buy call, a long call or a long put, for example, you've got a vertical spread, debit spread or credit spread, iron condor position. When you go to position actions and position analysis, of course, first setting up the portfolio and entering your trades into the portfolio, you can treat it even as a paper trade. But you're going to get a breakdown of your position. As we saw in the portfolio, I was in that analysis view where we saw the current liquidation value came down 5% on this trade. And if I hold it all the way to put expiration, I'm down 6%. Now, my stock is down by 21%. And we're only taking a 5% loss. I mean, not where we want to be, but we consider this a win. But what we're looking at here is some opportunities for what's called income method number 9. These rollout opportunities, again, will show up if you're doing a covered call, if you're doing a married put, if you're doing a naked put, just buying a call, debit spreads, credit spreads. You'll see these rollout opportunities where we do the math for you. If I made this adjustment, what would my new at risk it be? What would my new days to expiration? What is my new at risk per day or new total at risk? And new at risk, I should say, per month, not per day, but per month. So based on my expectations going forward, we currently have, as we mentioned, that 91-day output, the January 31 strike with the stock trading at 21.45. So I could go lower to the current price. I'd probably target the 26 here. Now I'm going to increase the monetary risk up to 287 or 9.9%. But right now, my current position, oh, sorry, let me go back here. Sorry, folks. My current position, my break even is up here at about, the $32, $33 range. By doing this adjustment, although I'll potentially increase the risk on the trade, I'm going to lower it to 28.87. Now, maybe I want to be a little bit further down. But why would I do this? I would do this because instead of having to pay more cash in, I'm getting paid. My original put purchase price was $550. I'm now getting $988 at midpoint. If I get the midpoint, but I'm getting $988 back. So we're making a good $4.30, $4.40 on the put, and we're going to keep a put in place. But like I mentioned that I saw with LTH, I'm only going to do this in CZR when I think I've hit the point where I feel the stock has bottomed and I think it's going to start going back up in price. And this does not have as favorable a chart. Right now, this chart is telling me potentially I should buy another put still because I'm seeing technicals that are pointing to still a downtrend. And again, discretionary spending. Why is Caesars falling so well? We're starting to see these new reports, fears in the economy, increasing debt in American households. People don't have as much for discretionary spending. But if I start to see that trend turn and I start to see this move up as LTH did, that's going to be a time when I'm going to consider that income. Then, of course, once again, that's all discussed in the blueprint as well. But that's what I do on a daily basis, seeing the movements in the market, using the portfolio, setting alerts to be notified when a position goes above or below a certain price, which would trigger me to come and look more in depth in the portfolio, go to position actions, go to position analysis, and evaluate the rollout opportunities, regardless of what spread positions that I'm in. Long calls or long puts, covered calls or cash secured naked puts, married puts. That's what I'm doing. That's how we use the tools. We find the positions using the search. That search we just reviewed on the Married Put is our default preferred search, RadioActive Trading, sorting by earnings per share growth. We see those ones that come up. And of course, if I'm interested in bear call credit spreads and I go to the search, the default one that's going to come up is initial value, weekly bear call credits. That's just the one I selected. Your default is probably going to be bear call number 1. That's for monthly. But I prefer to keep them shorter term, especially with my bull puts, the weekly bear calls, weekly bull puts as well. And that's what I look for. Of course, you could change the criteria. If you just wanted 1 week out, you wanted to look for dailies on SPY, QQQ, SPX, NDX, you could change that criteria based on your desired goals. That's the whole point of the patented search tools. But these defaults that we have, if you ever have a question of how would I find trades in this strategy and what are the good trades, this is what we would do. This is what we would look for. This is what we would tell you. You go to your desired strategy. You go into the search tool. Some strategies you'll see specifically preferred monthly or weekly picks of the day. That's the perfect place to start too. But in the search, you have full access to those default searches, those criteria, and you can adjust the criteria or weekly picks of the day criteria. Focusing on MACD crosses, Bollinger Bands, specific option criteria that you have available, basic fundamentals, and of course, if you wanted to include a stock list or just your own stock list, you could do that as well. Fully customizable to your target goals and what you need. Then the power to track and manage the positions, set alerts, and evaluate your rollout opportunities.